Hello everyone, and welcome to another Connect Spider video. Well, we're not doing a lot of Connect Spider riding right now, but this is what we've got going on right now. We've got heavy snow falling where I live up here in Canada. So we've got a project that I'm working on inside, so we're gonna head down to the workshop and I'll show you what I'm doing towards our filming for next season, where it's nice and warm. So we're back in the shop now, and this is my LS2 Valiant 2 modular helmet. The subject of the video today is going to be the action camera that's mounted on top of this helmet. This is an Akaso V50 Pro action camera, and I've been using this camera for the last couple of years. It's been a great little camera. We've had lots of good video from it. You've seen a lot of video taken from my helmet using this camera, and I've been very happy with the performance. There is a couple of issues about it that I'm trying to address. The number one is that it's very difficult to control this camera remotely. And that's pretty important when you're riding a motorcycle, especially when it's mounted up on top of your helmet. There's no way to get up there and turn it on and off when you're riding. And what it ends up happening is that you end up just letting the camera run, and that gives you very large files that you have to deal with in editing later. Akaso does supply this kind of a watch band remote system for their cameras, but it connects to the camera by Bluetooth. I have found the connection to be a little undependable at times, and the main thing is you cannot tell what the camera is doing, whether it's recording or not recording. So that makes it kind of awkward to use, and it's also very hard to use with gloves on your hand. They do provide an app that you can use to control the camera. I have found that to be also extremely undependable at staying connected to the camera. Another issue with this camera is that the maximum it can shoot is 2.7K at 30 frames per second with stabilization on. It does shoot it at 4K, but you can't have stabilization on it at the higher frame rates. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to replace this little camera with a GoPro Hero Black 8. That seems to give me everything I need, and I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces that I pulled together to make that work. So this is the GoPro Hero 8 Black, and it's the camera that I'm going to be using to do all the filming on my helmet. And we'll also use it for other things as well, I'm sure. So the only thing that this camera does not do is you cannot plug an external microphone directly into the camera. To accomplish that, you have two choices. You can either purchase the GoPro microphone adapter, which I will put a picture up in the corner for you to see. It is just another piece of equipment that has to be attached or dealt with on the helmet. There's lots of companies that make cages for them, etc., but I just didn't like the setup of it, of how I was going to mount it on the helmet. So what I've decided to go with is GoPro makes what they call the media mod for this camera, and I believe it also works with the GoPro Hero 9 Black, and that is this device right here. So the camera goes inside, and you can see the USB-C connector there, which comes into the camera, and that basically connects the camera up to this unit here. So in order to install the camera in that media mod, you first have to take the door off, and then we open up the media mod like so, and then the camera just slides right inside and docks like so, and then the door snaps shut. So now with the camera inside the media mod, what you get is a microphone on the front and rear. You pick up the ability to connect a 3.5 millimeter microphone right directly into the camera. You get your USB-C port back, and you get an HDMI port if you wanted to connect the camera to a TV. You also get a cold shoe on the side and a cold shoe on the top. The only thing that this does when the camera is in the media mod is you cannot take the camera underwater when it's in the media mod, because the door is no longer there. It's no longer waterproof. But this is going to just work for us just fine. So this is going to be the setup for the top of the helmet, and the next thing I'm going to show you is the remote control that I purchased to control this camera. This is the setup that I've chosen to control the GoPro. This remote control is made by a company called Telesin. They make a lot of aftermarket stuff for GoPro cameras, and as you can see, the little screen on the remote has the same information that shows on the front of the camera. So I can see that I'm in video mode, I can see that I'm running at 1080p at 60 frames a second, I can see how much time is left on the memory card in the camera, I can see the battery level and the little Wi-Fi signal to show they're connected. So if I want to start recording now with this, I just hit the shutter button and the camera starts recording. You've got the little red LED flashing on the camera and the little green LED flashing on the remote, which is critical for me when I'm on the motorcycle, because then I know the camera is recording. And then you can stop recording. You can also change the mode of the camera from here as well. So you press it once and it'll change to photo. Press it again, it'll go to time lapse, and press it again and it'll go back to video again. This little wrench button brings up the standard preset menu that's loaded into the GoPro, so you can select what you want from there. And then that takes you back to the menu again. You can also power down the camera here by holding this, and that will shut the camera down. This, I think, will be a really handy feature for me, because when I'm out riding, if I don't want anything on, I can shut everything off without having to stop the bike and get off and do that. And then when I want to start going again, I can just power it back on again. The remote goes looking for the camera, and the camera powers up. The remote attaches with a kind of an elastic wrist strap on the back. And from what I've seen in other videos, it looks like most guys just wrap this somewhere around their handlebars, and then it's very easy to access the remote. It'll probably be on its side, but that doesn't really matter. As long as I can see that screen and I can see what the camera's doing, that is what I'm after here. So I think this is going to be a pretty good setup for us on the bike, and I'm looking forward to better weather outside so we can get out there and give it a try. So here is the finished product. We've got the GoPro Hero 8 Black mounted on top of the helmet. Everything went just fine. One feature of the GoPros that I really like is the little feet that attach onto these mounts are built right into the camera, so you don't need an extra cage like I had to have with my last camera that was mounted up there. And also the media mount allows those feet to pass through. So we've got the adapter plugged into the back of the camera, and that's the microphone connection going in there, because this is a TRS that the camera needs and the microphone is TRRS, so you need this adapter to change that over. This goes down inside the helmet. The microphone is tucked in the cheek pad where I had my last microphone. It seemed to work quite well, the sound was good. But I'll have to wait to see how that actually goes out on the road with all the other noises that take place to see if it's in the right position or not. So everything went very well. A successful conversion over to the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Well folks, that wraps up another Connect Spider video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, winter has got a firm grip in us. As I stand here right now, it is minus 10 degrees Celsius, but it's a beautiful sunny day, so it isn't all bad. So hopefully we'll be riding again in the near future once all this white stuff is gone. So until then, thank you very much for watching.